It's been a long week, long week, and my basement is all torn up right now, tearing it up with more and more each passing day, getting ready to put in new walls and such, but I haven't had much time this week to work on it, so all my crafting supplies are all over the place. Everything's all messed up down here. And so, I'm still going to try to get something out, and today I'm going to continue on this theme of torture room furniture. Today I'm going to work on Stockades. I figured it was something that was easy enough for me to try to get done relatively quickly. Wasn't able to hit it much on Friday or yesterday. Today's Sunday, so I'm like 2 days getting this thing out. I think that's probably going to be normal for the foreseeable future. Anyway, jumping in, I start out with these little dowels, and you can see here that I made them about 1 inch long, little square dowels, and those are going to be my post for the stockade. And then for the feet, I'm going to use these little skinny sticks again, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces because you're going to have 2 different feet, again 1 inch long, and I'll just put them in my little grid here to make sure they're the right size. And I'll trim them up a little bit. And once I get everything trimmed up and lined up, I'm just going to glue the post onto the legs. And I'm just using white glue here. Pretty straightforward process. I'm pressing it in there, making sure they line up relatively close to one another. This is a really fun, easy project. Almost like a beginner project. Again, with the skinny sticks, this is the part that I'm going to... These are the 2 pieces. I cut 2 pieces because I'm going to use these for the part where people's heads and hands go through. I don't know what that part's called. But see, there are 2 pieces there. I'm going to get a pencil, and I'm going to draw in the circles. And then I'm going to cut them out. I'll just use the circles that I draw in here for the head and the hands as like a guide. Mark about where the middle is there, and then just try to hold it together and draw my circles. Fairly straightforward. Circle drawing time. Speed this up a little bit. Head and hands. I could have glued this together, but it's much easier just to go in first and carve out these half circles using just an X-Acto knife. I just take my time with it. Just a little bit, back and forth, carving out and using those lines sort of as a guide to how much to cut out. Trying to keep it as smooth as possible, in the most circular-like, semicircular fashion as possible. And here, I'm just taking my time. You can see where I'm just carving it out a little bit at a time. If you go too fast here, the wood will split, or you'll get a little lopsided. And you'll see where I got a little lopsided here and there, but it's close enough for a little miniature piece that's going on the board in a small torture chamber or a large torture chamber. I mean, if you have a lot of prisoners coming in, you might want to make 3 or 4 of these. And once I got that done, I glued it together, and once it was glued together, you can get a sort of sense there of how it's going to look. A little glue on each of the posts. I'm running out of glue here. It's getting down to the last little bit. I have to run out to the store and get some more. Here we go. I'm trying to show you guys how to glue it on. It's a little hard to glue it on like this. You can see me fumbling all over the place. So after I fumble for a while, I just sort of set it straight up and then press it in and hold it in place until it gets a little bit of drying done, enough to keep it there so it can dry on its own later. So once I got this piece together, I just went back with the X-Acto knife to round it out just a little bit more. Smooth out some of those rough spots. And believe it or not, I didn't cut myself here. Didn't do it. Looks like I would have the way I was doing it. Now what I'm doing is trying to figure out what I was going to use for angle brackets. I was thinking maybe initially the square dowel, but I went with these little flat skinny sticks, cutting out little pieces, and then angling the edges so it's like a 45-degree angle, and it would fit on between, the post and the leg, or the platform, or whatever you want to call that bottom part. See? And I cut 4 of those out and just use a little bit of white glue again to glue on each support. At the end of the day, I think I could have made the post just a little bit taller. Maybe 1.5 inches would have been better, or 1.25 inches, something like that. I may go back later and see what that looks like and do a comparison. And there she is, and it's time to do a little bit of painting. This time I went, instead of with the espresso brown like I did with the guillotine. Thank you, I believe it was Eric that helping me out there with my bad French. It is guillotine. I use basically just a brown as the base coat here. You see me tackling it there. You see all the other colors I've used on various things. And then there's the suede that I use for my dry brushing. Now, you'll see here that I'm a little heavy-handed on the dry brushing. That was not intentional. This was a mistake. But, as often is the case, you can come back from mistakes. You can make adjustments. And I made this simplest adjustment. I went ahead and just heavy-handed the rest of the dry brushing. It's almost like another coat of paint at this point. And to fix it up, I figured I'd do a heavy black wash. And I'd give it like a really old, worn look. Some heavy use, which, I had with the guillotine as well. And here we go with the black wash. Forgive my poor performance here as I moved it off the screen. So here it is where it's just about done, and there's the black wash. I have this little container that I made up. Keep it in a little Tupperware container. Again, don't tell the wife. Though, honestly, she doesn't care. She loves me. She's happy I got like this goofy crafting hobby instead of a motorcycle. And here we go. A bit of a stockade that you can put in your dungeon to add to your furniture. It doesn't take very long, and it's an easy, fun project. You should try it. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Next couple of weeks, we'll do a couple more furniture pieces. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Until next week, have fun and keep crafting.